Hello everyone, this is Carrie from Celestial Forecasts. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you have been drawn to watch this reading for your particular sign, maybe there's something here that I'll be able to tap into for your current situation between you and the person that you're focused on. So the question I'll be tapping into is, when will I see you again? This is for those who are definitely at a distance from one another. You are maybe in no contact, in separation, either recently or maybe it's been a long time. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what that vibe looks like here for the collective. General advice as always. Keep that in mind throughout the reading, and let's dive right into it, guys. Hello, Gemini. All right, guys. What does this reading have in store for you when it comes to the person you have in mind? Angels and spirit guides, please, for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. What do we need to know here? First message, we have number 44. That could be somebody's age, or it could be a particular number that's significant. So something about the dreams maybe that you have, or dreams that you both have talked about together, but they are telling you here, I'm so proud of you. So maybe they have found out somehow that you have achieved a particular goal or dream. It could be career-wise. It could be something that you guys, again, have talked about, and they either heard it or have seen it maybe on social media. You know, I'm also getting for some of you that maybe lately, I'm just feeling possibly within a week or two, especially if there's suddenly popping into your mind more than usual, that you guys are connecting in your dreams. 5D interaction. Okay, let's see what else for Gemini. All right, we've got 0, isolated. I'm empty without you. Wow, this reminds me of somebody who's got everything that life has to offer, with the exception of having you in their life. So they could also be throwing a lot of their energies, maybe again towards their job, their career, other stuff, their friendships, anything and everything to not feel this emptiness because you're not there. Let me grab one more here. Look at this, Gemini. All right, so we have eternally yours, eternity. Even though you guys are not together as of right now in the 3D anyway, I feel you guys have made such a huge impact on each other's lives that you don't even have to be together to feel that there's something very special about the two of you when you met. And, you know, maybe these are actual words that this person has spoken, or that they feel eternally, that you guys belong together, or that no matter what, nobody may even come close to what they have in their heart for you. And, you know, there could be parts of you that feel the same way. Eternity, forever. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab some tarot to go along with this, because at the end of this reading, we're going to go ahead and grab 3 time frames, and I'll give you guys the opportunity to focus on either number 1, number 2, or number 3. And I'll go ahead and grab those cards, and whichever one you choose will be the time frame for your connection. All right, so let's start with tarot messages. I'll be pulling from my TABBY tarot teacher here. So I do feel that this person still dreams about you. And, you know, not to say that they haven't gotten into other relationships. I don't feel that they haven't done anything with their life, or that they haven't, you know, tried to date other people. They certainly could have, but there's something about the two of you that just really fulfilled them and made them happy. And when you guys parted ways, it's almost like the rug was just pulled out from under them, and they haven't been the same since. Let's see. All right, we've got the 4 of Swords here. I do get from this individual that they certainly have had their fair share of alone time. And it might have been very healing at one point in time, but I do feel that they have those moments where it's almost depressing because they do feel so alone, you know, without you. They could be in a room full of people and still feel so alone because you're not there. But I do feel that as more time unfolds, eventually they will heal from this, and you know, you will be able to heal from parts of the situation that you need to as well. We've got the Judgment card here. So there's somebody here who wants to reconnect with you in the 3D. This is somebody who's gone through their awakening. They've gone through this particular journey where they know and understand their role and why things are the way they are between the two of you. There could be an apology that is forthcoming the first time that you guys are able to talk once again. And at the end of the day, I feel what they want is to have you back in their life. We do have the Nine of Swords coming up next. So, you know, part of the upright interpretations of the Four of Swords and the Nine of Swords has to do with our fears and anxieties. And so this is what's weighing this person down at the moment, or maybe since you guys have broken up, that's just how it has affected them, to the point where they're just so incredibly overwhelmed by life and the lack of things happening or too many things going on in their life. You know, the Nine of Swords can represent that they don't get very good quality sleep, you know. It could start off as a beautiful dream, you know, again, picking up off of this card, the dreams that they're having, but it could also turn into a nightmare. You know, part of their dream starts off beautifully, and then the end of that dream just has them in this very anxious type vibe because they see how things have unfolded for you guys. You know, to the point where it almost feels so real. They wake up and recognize that familiar feeling of emptiness. So this definitely caused them to maybe even go into hermit mode where they didn't want to interact with people, just needing time for themselves. It could also be that this person is having a difficult time just dealing with the fact that you're not in their life anymore. Yeah. Wow. We're seeing the Ten of Wands, guys. That is followed by the Ten of Swords. Both of these cards are very difficult to go through. So it is clarifying for me from the person that you're thinking about that life has been a major challenge. It has not been easy. And that doesn't always have something to do with you and the connection. I feel it's almost like they had a string of bad luck once you left, and it's just overwhelming this person. Part of the reason, too, for why things have been difficult for this individual is based off of how you guys ended the partnership. Maybe it was a very painful conversation. It could have been a disagreement, a fighting match, an argument. However way you guys might have ended things, they feel greatly responsible for the direction that it took. And, you know, if you're listening to this and the person that is coming through in this reading, if you know and obviously recognize that you had to end things with this person because they betrayed you somehow, could have been cheating, could have been infidelity, or some other type of backstabbing, that you took control of your own life and decided maybe to part ways. And they look back at this and recognize all of the mistakes that they've made. We have the Star. For some of you, you could be thinking of Aquarius here. Even though they have their moments of feeling depressed and they're uncertain whether or not this can ever come together, they also have those moments of feeling like they still believe in it, you know, because of the love that they have for you in their heart. They continue to wish that against all odds that this is still possible to fix. And if you're on the same page, feeling like, okay, that was not a pleasant experience, what we went through in the past, but in order to move forward, there obviously has to be a lot of things that are addressed between the two of you. And, you know, forgiveness certainly is a part of that journey. And that's where the Judgment card comes in. The need for forgiveness in order to move forward. So if you're both on the same page and wanting that wish to manifest, it's possible. Absolutely possible. Six of Swords. I like this because it's focusing on healing, which needs to continue. And you cannot rush your healing journey. They can't, you can't, nobody can. It'll happen on its own time. There is this need to move forward, to let go of the more painful parts of what the past represents, whatever that baggage might represent. It's time to release it and let it go. That's not always an easy thing to do. And so perhaps that's something that you both have to work on individually in order to head more towards these calmer waters that are represented by the Six of Swords. Even though we don't see a Tower card here, you guys certainly know what those turbulent waters would have represented, especially if you feel that you did experience a Tower moment, that upheaval, this type of destruction of the foundation of the relationship. And so if you guys can find your way back to each other to be able to rebuild that foundation, that in and of itself could also be a wish that can come true as long as two people are on board. All right, so now let's go ahead and grab those time frames here. So while I am shuffling, go ahead and think of either the number 1, 2, or 3. And let's see what the time frame is. When will I see you again for Gemini? All right, guys. So if you chose number 1, when will I see you again? All right. Let's go ahead and choose a second card here. For Gemini, if you chose number 2, what is that time frame? And it's really important to not be too focused on when something is going to happen, because it's constantly shifting and changing. So this isn't set in stone whatsoever. All right, so that's number 2. All right, for those of you who are choosing number 3, let's take a look at that time frame. And if it's not the time frame that you're hoping for or wanting, that could simply mean that timing is off, or that there's something truly that's better for you, okay? Because it could represent that as well. Let's grab that third time frame. All right, here we go, guys. All right, so if you chose time frame number 1, and again, the question is, when will I see you again? Here is that time frame. It will happen on a Sunday. Just the fact that it says it will happen is a positive indication that you will see each other again, whether it happens on a Sunday or not. But for some of you guys, you never know. All right, so just take a mental note of your answer here and the time frame that you're being given, especially if you really do want to reconnect with this person. Miracles can happen, and for some of you guys, who knows, it could be this Sunday, right? Crazier things have happened. So that is number 1. Now, if you chose number 2, here is your time frame. So we have 2 years here. This one's going to take a little bit longer to manifest itself. Maybe you know and understand why it's taking so long. There could be obstacles, other situations, other relationships that are standing in the way. You know, whatever those challenges might represent, it could take as long as 2 years to fix. So that could also be a blessing for some of you, because it's just not the right time for things to manifest. Okay, so that's for those of you who chose 2. If you chose number 3, check this one out, guys. It's telling you in no uncertain terms, it's time to let this go. Maybe in your heart of hearts, you know that that's the right answer. Maybe you've given it your all. Maybe you've tried and you've tried and you've tried and it just doesn't seem to be working, you know? And so if you're dealing with somebody whose cup is empty, eventually you're going to give everything you've got to where your cup is empty as well. So if you relate to that, guys, perhaps this is a clear indication of the need to move on and release it and let it go. You know, so in a way that's picking up off of the Six of Swords. It's time to move forward. It's time to leave something or someone behind, or the idea of reconnecting with somebody or seeing them again. Because this could be the universe's way of telling you, you know what? Let it go, because it's standing in the way of somebody better that we want to bring in for you. All right. So that's the third time frame that's coming through. Very finite there. All right, guys. So hopefully there's something here that offers you advice that's helpful. If you are interested in your own reading, that information is down below in the description box, and I will link the decks you see here. Thank you so much for tuning in, for listening, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.